couple of years ago when the Governor Whitmer kidnapping plot was uncovered by the FBI, I just knew immediately that it didn't sound right. Well, after some time, it turned out that 12 of the 16 participants were FBI informants. And this has become a pattern and a repeating pattern. Any large crime, you can bet that the FBI is behind it in some sort of way. Now, being an FBI informant isn't something that is easy, that they just pick you up and say, here, you're an informant now. You have to get vetted. It takes a long time. And they keep records and everything. They pay you a lot of money. They pay you for everything you do. It's a really good gig. You can commit crime on the FBI's dime. Now, I'm going to go through some of this today and show how the FBI is using these informants to do what they want and accomplish the goals that they want, mainly to smear their political enemies. Now, here's your chance to like and subscribe. Attorney General Merrick Garland has shown his true colors of corruption, and he's hired a special counsel to investigate Donald Trump on the January 6th riot. But, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that seems to be what our federal government is doing when it comes to Donald Trump. He's been under investigation since 2016, and they've never found anything to indict him on. But remember, with Liz Cheney and crying Kinzinger, that they had the January 6th panel that was supposed to investigate this already, but they didn't find anything, and in fact, they left out a lot of investigation. So now that the Republicans are taking over, hopefully they'll grow a spine and do what they need to do and investigate the people that should be investigated for that. Now, do you remember who Ray Epps is? And if you don't, you should, but I'm going to give you a little reminder right here.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed. Tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Based Fed posting? All right. We need to go into the Capitol. I didn't see that coming. Okay.
Monument Hill.
Stop speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word. All right. Okay, but one more thing.
Yeah, so can we go up there? No?
When we go in,
Are we going to get arrested if we
leave
go
this
up there?
here. You don't need to get
Did you
shot.
arrest us all?
In this photo right here, you'll see Ray with Stuart Rhodes. Stuart Rhodes is the founder of the Oath Keepers, and the Oath Keepers is just a group of former veterans and public servants like police and fire who want to do something to help, and they really have been just running security details for a lot of the speakers on the right to keep them from being attacked by the Antifa thugs. But they never did any actual damage or any offensive attack. Now, Stuart Rhodes just got convicted with seditious conspiracy, and he didn't do anything that Ray Epps did. And we can see what Ray Epps did, and the thing about that is that's illegal right there on camera. You can't incite a riot. You can't incite violence. What Ray Epps was doing was illegal, but Here's what your congressman says about him.
Mr. Epps was in front of the January 6th committee, and we were told that a transcript of his interview would be released, but it's never been released. And I wondered, was he sworn
None
in?
of the transcripts have been released, so you don't need a conspiracy theory about that. We haven't released any of
Were
them.
you present when he was interviewed? That would give me
No, I was not. I was not. We've done more than 1,000 interviews. You guys are trying to make this poor schmuck who showed up to your protest into something a lot bigger than he is. Okay? He's just trying to survive, and he's on your side. You don't have many voters left. You might want to try to hang on to them without demonizing and vilifying your own people. But that's the Donald Trump way. Sell everybody else down the road. Unless you're going to get a pardon. Some people are still hanging around waiting for their pardon. But most people have opened their eyes about what he's done to our country. What he's done to his family. Have you guys ever read the book by Mary Trump about the way that Donald Trump has absolutely destroyed their family? Wrecked her father's life? They do it to family, they do it to friends, they do it to their own associates and employees. And now you guys are doing it to this poor Ray Epps. Leave that guy alone, whoever he is. You guys are trying to make this poor schmuck who showed up to your protest into something a lot bigger than he is.
What you just saw there was called deflection. And now I want to show you what Kash Patel has to say about these FBI informants. And he's somebody who is really knowledgeable in this. He was a former senior advisor for Donald Trump. So listen to what Kash has to say about these FBI informants.
From a former federal prosecutor perspective, let me just give you that lens. If we're to believe the reporting that there's 8, not 1, 8 confidential human sources, and possibly even dressed in pro-Trump gear, you have to hit a timeout button and say, wait a second. It's not like the FBI found these people and said, on January 5th, and said, go forth. A confidential human source for the Federal Bureau of Investigation requires a minimum of a 6-month onboard vetting process. Then you have to go through the rules and regulations on how to be a confidential human source. And once all of that happens and the FBI does their own internal verification to approve not just your background, but your relationships and your financial stability, and do you have ties to enemies of the United States and things like that. There's an extensive process there. We being Devin and I, when we ran Russiagate, we exposed Christopher Steele's source verification process at the FBI, which at the time was classified, but now has been put out. When the FBI themselves determined Christopher Steele would basically be a terrible source, but they decided to use him anyway because they needed him to cover up their corruption.
All in all, I think we could all agree on the fact that the FBI should change their name to the Federal Bureau of Instigation. Well, thank you for sticking around with me in this video. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you're not subscribed, do that as well. And I really appreciate all my new subscribers and new viewers. Thanks for helping me build this channel. Peace be with you.